Yes, elections for the fourth phase of Lok Sabha polls has kicked off. We are seeing polling in 96 seats across 10 states and union territories. Crucially, we are seeing an election in Srinagar as well. This is the only seat in Jammu and Kashmir which is going to polls today. In fact, this is the first major election here after the abrogation of Article 370. So let's see how things fare. Now let's take a bigger picture. Two states which will be very crucial for anyone's fortunes, be it the opposition or the BJP, will be Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. All 17 seats in Telangana are going to polls today. Remember, this is a state where the Congress had won recently in the assembly election. They're very, very confident, but the BJP also hoping to make big gains here. Coming round to Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh is seeing a simultaneous election to the Lok Sabha seats, that is 25 Lok Sabha seats and 175 assembly seats as well. Similarly for Odisha, four Lok Sabha seats are going to polls in Odisha and all the assembly seats all too going to polls simultaneously. Now coming back to Andhra Pradesh, here the BJP is fighting in a combine of the TDP, Chandrababu Naidu and the Jan Kalyan Party. Now let's see how the BJP and the NDA performs here. Whatever happens here will be very crucial because be it 2009 and 2014, the state of Andhra Pradesh had played a very important role in government formation. You also have elections in about 11 seats in Maharashtra. There are about 7 seats where the BJP is contesting and 5 seats where there is going to be a very close contest as well. 13 seats in Uttar Pradesh. The most important contest that we're voting out here for is Kannauj, where Akhilesh Yadav is fighting from. Remember, Dimple Yadav had contested in 2019 from Kannauj and lost to the incumbent BJP MP. Can Akhilesh Yadav win this time? All eyes will be on Kannauj. West Bengal, you've got 8 seats in West Bengal going to polls, and you've got some very big names such as Mahua Moitra, Dilip Ghosh. You also have Yusuf Pathan versus Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary in Behrampur. Now, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has been winning the seat 5 times since 1999. So we will be watching out for the battle of Behrampur very, very closely. Also, Asansol will be very crucial. You've got SS Ahluwalia of the BJP also contesting in this election. 5 seats in Bihar, around 8 to 10 seats in Madhya Pradesh as well. Now, what will be very important for anyone's fortunes will be the state of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. We'll delve more into this in some time from now. But let me go across to our colleagues across the country. From Bid today in Maharashtra, we're joined by Mayuresh. Mayuresh, thank you very much for joining us. We believe that it's extremely hot in Bid right now. What has been the polling percentage, right? And what is the key contest there in Bid?
Absolutely, Parikshit. If you talk about the polling percentage, it is not that great. Till 9 a.m. it was just 6.4. But yes, even the local leaders, including Pankaja Munde, is expecting that soon after 3 p.m. the polling percentage will increase because, as you said, that yes, we are facing extreme heat over here. This particular region is known for it. And post 3 p.m. usually people come out of their houses to cast their vote. Now, if we talk about the key fight is between Pankaja Munde of BJP and Bajrang Sonawne of NCP. If you remember that Pankaja Munde, after losing 2019 state assembly polls, she was not that much active. But again, party has shown that confidence in her. And instead of giving ticket to or repeating her sister Pritam Munde again, this time she has been given ticket. So this is her first ever Lok Sabha election where she is actually contesting. So it would be very interesting to see that how much vote margin she gets, because last time her own cousin brother Dhananjay Munde had defeated her in the state assembly. But now, after the split in the NCP, Ajit Pawar faction had joined hands with the BJP government in Maharashtra, and now her brother Dhananjay Munde is in support of Pankaja Munde. That's why she is very confident of winning this particular seat with a great margin. Back to you, Parikshit.
All right. Thank you, Mayuresh. We'll come back to you shortly about the key issues at play as well in Bid and in Maharashtra in this phase. Let me go across to Santya. Santya is joining us from Bihar. One very close battle that we'll be watching out for is Begusarai, where you've got Giriraj Singh of the BJP contesting from. Santya, give us a sense where you are. How has been the polling numbers since morning overall across the country? We get a sense that across these 96 seats in 10 states and union territories, the polling percentage is around 10. How are things where you're standing?
Good morning, Parikshit. So right now we are in Bihar. This is Bihar Baroni. This is Kanhaiya Kumar's village in Begusarai. We just had a conversation with Kanhaiya. He has come to cast vote. Kanhaiya Kumar this time is just a voter for Begusarai, but last time he contested from Begusarai on a CPI ticket. He was against Giriraj Singh of BJP, and Giriraj Singh won by a margin of over 4 lakh votes. So Kanhaiya, on the left side of the polling booth, Kanhaiya is casting his vote, and we had a conversation with him, and before we talk about what he spoke, let's try and speak to some other people who are here. अम्मा वोट डाल दिया कि
वोट डाल दिया।
अच्छा, आप तो धूप में एकदम सुबह सुबह निकल के आ गए वोट डालने। हाँ,
छाड़ी
क्या बोला उन्होंने?
छाया दीजिए, छाया बोल रही है देने के लिए।
अच्छा, ये तो इस बार तो चुनाव आयोग ने वैसे कहा था कि छाया करेंगे, लेकिन यहाँ आपके यहाँ तो कोई छाया का प्रबंध दिख ही नहीं रहा। अच्छा, अंदर वोट डालने गए थे तो मतलब पंखा वंखा चल रहा है, पानी वानी है? अच्छा, मुद्दे आप बता पाएंगे अम्मा कि क्या ध्यान में रखे अपने वोट देते टाइम, क्या सोचा?
पहुँच लिया कहलिए हमें नहीं देवे, बूढ़ छे हमें नहीं देवे, कहल कि नहीं चली।
अच्छा, ये क्या बोली मैं समझ नहीं पाई।
आपने बोल रही है कि मेरे जाने का मन नहीं था,
हाँ।
लेकिन अगला पर्सन जीत गया तो मैंने आ गया।
अच्छा, जिद करके आपको लाया गया, पर अब बहुत आए हैं आप इस उम्र में भी। कितने साल के हैं आप? 85। आपकी क्या लगता है?
मेरी मम्मी है।
अच्छा, आपकी मदर है। आपने वोट डाल दिया?
जी।
आप मुझे बता पाए कौन से मुद्दों को ध्यान में रखा आपने वोट डालते टाइम?
मुद्दा तो बता नहीं सकते हैं आज।
नहीं, मैं कैंडिडेट नहीं पूछ रही हूँ, मुद्दा नहीं।
मुद्दा भी नहीं बता सकती हूँ ना।
तो गुप्त दान है तो गुप्त दान का मुद्दा कैसे बता सकते हैं?
मुद्दा नहीं बता सकते है ना।
पर गुप्त दान, आपने बहुत सही वर्ड यूज किया। पिछली बार मैं बारामती में जब बात कर रही थी, वहाँ भी महिलाओं ने कहा था हम बताएंगे नहीं मुद्दा।
वही तो, मुद्दा नहीं बताएंगे, मुद्दा कैसे बता दे आपको।
अच्छा, हर साल आप वोट, हर चुनाव में वोट डालने आते हैं?
जी।
अच्छा, यहाँ पे प्रबंध की मैं बात कर रही हूँ। देखिए, बहुत तेज गर्मी है, अभी तो 10:30
को चाहिए, पानी का व्यवस्था चाहिए था।
है क्या व्यवस्था?
अंदर तो नहीं है, हम तो फर्स्ट बार अपना वोट डालने आए थे तो मिला था हमको ORS। अभी तो नहीं है,
कुछ अंदर व्यवस्था नहीं है
अभी है।
अच्छा, आप बताएं, आप भी मतलब मुद्दों के बारे में तो आप बताएंगी नहीं, लेकिन एक मैसेज अगर आप लोगों को दे सके, बाकी लोगों को, कि बाहर आए, वोट दें, अपना कर्तव्य निभाएं, ऐसा कुछ मैसेज।
वोट डालना है, बस वोट डालना है। मुद्दा नहीं बता सकते कि किस मुद्दे पे डालना है और क्यों डालना है। रीजन आपको
बाकी लोगों से एक अपील कर दीजिए कि सब बाहर।
हाँ, आप भी बाहर निकलिए और वोट डालिए। जैसे मेरी मम्मी 85 के एज में भी आई है डालने के लिए, आप लोग भी आइए और वोट डालिए।
Perfect. As you heard and as you saw, she is 85 years old and she is here to cast her vote. Parikshit, as I said, it's hardly 10:30 and it's really hot here. The temperature crossed 30 even before it was 10 a.m. And unfortunately, as you can see, this particular polling booth hardly has any shadow area. You can see a couple of trees and that is the only saving grace here. And people told us that even inside the polling area also there are not proper water arrangements or fans and everything. So that is something we have been highlighting since morning, because in the Begusarai city polling booths also, even on a model polling booth, this was the same complaint which the voters had. Now let's talk about Begusarai. Begusarai, as you rightly mentioned, that this is Union Minister Rural Development of India, Giriraj Singh's constituency. He's the sitting MP. He contested for the first time from Begusarai in 2019 and won by a huge margin. This time he's against CPI's Avdesh Kumar Rai, who is a 3-time MLA from Begusarai, and this time anti-incumbency is that one thing, Parikshit, which Giriraj Singh is facing. In fact, there is a slogan in Begusarai this time that गिरिराज सिंह मजबूरी है लेकिन मोदी जरूरी है. That shows that at least these people who are thinking of voting for NDA, the reason is not their sitting MP, the reason is not the candidate, that's Modi factor. So one of the key election factor is Modi factor. Other than that, if I talk about what's going to work in CPI's favor, so unfortunately we're talking about Bihar, where caste politics is a huge aspect of elections. You cannot think about elections, you cannot strategize, you cannot win if you don't get the caste strategy right. Now, last time what happened, the reason Kanhaiya Kumar suffered a huge loss was because RJD also fielded its candidate, and that cut into Yadav and Muslim votes, which usually go to left. But that did not happen last time. But this time, because CPI is a part of... okay, Kanhaiya is leaving. I'll see if he wants to talk again. but I can see there's a huge crowd and people are waiting for him. We actually spoke to him already. So, talking about why Kanhaiya lost last time, because the votes got divided, and this time CPI candidate is a part of India Alliance. CPI is part of India Alliance in Bihar. That's why the possibility is that vote bank, that chunk is not going to get divided, which is going to benefit CPI more than the BJP. Now, let's talk about the voting population here. In Begusarai, there are around 21 lakh voters, Parikshit. Out of those 21 lakh voters, 4 lakh voters are of the upper caste Bhumihar community. 5 lakh belong to Yadavs and Muslims, and the remaining belong to either SC, ST or other communities. So, though Bhumihars and Yadav Muslim voters are going to be important for both the candidates, for Giriraj Singh and Avdesh Kumar, but the deciding factor is going to be other community voters. They are the ones who will decide who will get to govern Begusarai once again. Let me once again try if I can get Kanhaiya. Okay, he's speaking to somebody else, and
you know, Santya, what
another
we'll
important
do,
seat which I want to talk about.
what we'll do, Santya, we'll come back to you in a bit. I know you're trying to get in touch with Kanhaiya Kumar, and that would be worth a shot, definitely. But thank you for getting that report to us, and we'll return to you in some time from now. Let me go across to Jude Sanath now. Jude is joining us from Hyderabad this morning, and last time in the state of Telangana, out of those 17 Lok Sabha seats, 9 were won by the BRS, 4 by the BJP, 3 by the India Alliance, and 1 by Asaduddin Owaisi's party, AIMIM. Let me go across to Jude now. Jude, you have been trying to gauge the pulse of the voter in Hyderabad, in Telangana, over the last 2 to 3 days. What's at play here? Now, BRS was a party which had historically come on the back of the Form Telangana movement. What is their plank this time around? How strong is the Congress, and where does the BJP stand?
Well, there's one thing for sure, Parikshit, and that is the fact that the Congress is running on a bit of a confidence high. And that's because it's merely been less than a year, one might say, since they won that resounding victory in the assembly election. And that's why, you know, despite having the vote share in its favor and despite having the number of seats in its favor, the fact is the BRS isn't exactly seeing an automatic advantage even as the 2024 Lok Sabha polls are upon us. In fact, interestingly enough, as you pointed out, the BRS may have won 9 of 17, the BJP may have won 4 of 17 back in 2019, and the Congress may have won only 3 of 17, but the fact is that the Congress, even according to 2019 numbers, still has a larger vote share than the BJP. Now, given the fact that they've also won an assembly election just last year, you can say that the Congress is riding a bit of a high with regard to the Lok Sabha polls in Telangana, all 17 seats of which go to the polling booth today. Let me give you a quick update in terms of where we are coming to you from. Right behind me is the Jubilee Hills Public School. We are, of course, in the prestigious neighborhood of Jubilee Hills. Remember, Jubilee Hills and Banjara Hills, many would know, is pretty much where the rich and famous of Hyderabad reside. And as you can see, there's a whole lot of activity here. And that's because you're seeing, you know, a celebrity much like Vijay Deverakonda just make his way to poll. We're told that he will come back in just a bit. We'll see if we can maybe get a quick word with him, you know, once he's back. Remember, there's been a flutter of activity here. A number of celebrities from the Telugu and the Indian film industry have cast their vote. Mahesh Babu also polls from this polling booth, we're told. We saw Chiranjeevi also cast his vote a little earlier. A number of politicians as well. Madhavi Lata, in fact, was one of the first to cast her vote as early as 7:30 a.m. Remember, a number of interesting fights are being witnessed from this part of town, simply because, remember, Madhavi Lata was taking on the incumbent Asaduddin Owaisi, a 3-time MP from the Hyderabad constituency, and his father, a 4-time MP even before him. So will Madhavi Lata of the BJP wrangle Hyderabad from the Owaisis? That is one big question. Secunderabad, another interesting seat. It's seeing incumbent Union Minister G. Kishan Reddy contest for a 3rd time around, hoping to win. So, you know, a number of interesting candidates, a number of keenly contested elections, and a number of key constituencies, much like Warangal, Hyderabad, Secunderabad, many others. So the action is heating up. Granted, it's only 17 seats, but the fact is that with a resounding victory just last year, the Congress, one might say, is riding on a bit of a high, hoping to score an election victory in the Lok Sabha this time around, especially from Telangana after its 2023 victory, in the state assembly itself, Parikshit.
Right, and you're just focusing a bit more on the issues. What has been the major poll plank of different parties, or the key headline in terms of the high voltage campaign? At a national level, we are seeing a debate over inheritance tax, Muslim appeasement, Pakistan appeasement, whether Pakistan has an atom bomb, whether we should be fearing Pakistan or not. But down in Hyderabad, in Telangana, between these key players, the AIMIM, the BRS, Congress, and also the BJP, what seems to be the big political headline that is emerging, and which voters are really talking about?
We spent the greater part of our morning speaking to multiple voters across demographics. We spoke to some really young voters. We spoke to two voters who've been voting for nearly 50 to 60 years, from the Secunderabad constituency, asking them the same question: what is it that they're voting for? Now, the answers are rather interesting. A number of voters I spoke to, told me it's all about development, this election. Remember, Parikshit, it's been a little more than 10 years since the state of Telangana was created. And in these 10 years, a whole lot of focus has been on Hyderabad. And that was one of the key aspects and one of the key cast members, really, insofar as the formation of Telangana was concerned. But how much of that development has seeped into smaller towns, smaller cities? How much of infrastructure has smaller cities, or even outskirts for that matter, like the Rangareddy district, for instance, have, how much of that has penetrated these towns? That is a key election issue. Another one is jobs. A few first-time, second-time, third-time voters I spoke to, many people still in their 20s, have told me that while development is great, is jobs something that the new government or the new party that's going to be in power, the new MP of Hyderabad and Secunderabad, is that something that they're willing to promise? So remember, a new demographic of young voters are entering the poll booth this year around. So jobs will be a key poll issue. The third one, believe it or not, is religious polarization, or the lack of it. Remember, there was, of course, that video doing the rounds that went viral of challenger BJP candidate and a former entrepreneur and dancer, Madhavi Lata, while going about a poll campaign, taking aim at a mosque on one of Hyderabad's streets. In fact, I met Madhavi Lata today. I asked her about polarization and if it has perhaps distracted or diverted some of the attention around her campaign. And she told me quite diplomatically, there's only one kind of polarization that she's witnessing, and that's 17 out of 17 seats heading towards or being polarized towards the BJP in Telangana, insisting that there was no religious polarization of any kind insofar as her campaign is concerned. So three main issues: development, infrastructure, jobs, and religious polarization, or the lack of it, that's been doing the rounds as far as Hyderabad is concerned. We are told that Vijay Devarkonda may be making his way out after casting his vote. We don't quite know that as yet. Let me in fact go about taking a sneak peek, and no indications yet, but we'll be sure to bring you some of these visuals if and when they do come about. But to answer your question, really, jobs, infrastructure, development, and polarization, or the lack of it, Parikshit. In a nutshell, that's Telangana and Hyderabad's list of issues that they're voting on in 2024.
Right, a lot of action behind you, Jude, and we'll let you go for the moment in order to capture that action. We'll return to you in just a bit. Let me go across to my colleague Hormuz Patakia. Hormuz, you are at our election desk. What's the big analysis? What are some of the key seats, the swing seats maybe, that you're watching out for?
Controversial seats and a continuation of the family versus family battle, Parikshit. This is continued in the last phase of the polls as well, and it's continuing in this phase as well. Let's start off with the controversial seat, actually. Let's start off with Indore in Madhya Pradesh that has gone to polls today. It's not controversial in any other terms, in terms of people voting, because it's been a pretty decisive seat when it comes to voting for the BJP, and they've done that for almost the last 3.5 decades now. And Sumitra Mahajan, the former Lok Sabha Speaker, represented that seat from 1989 until 2019, when she was replaced by Shankar Lalwani of the BJP, who is now seeking a second term in office. And Shankar Lalwani also, when he sought election in 2019, he won this seat by 5.5 lakh votes. So it was a pretty decisive mandate that he had won, and now he's seeking a second term The controversy, though, comes before the election, and very similar to Surat, when the Congress candidate had withdrawn, his nomination was rejected and the seat went to the BJP. Here in this case, the Congress candidate just days before polling withdrew his nomination and defected to the BJP. Now, Akshay Bam, the name of that was the candidate that the Congress had fielded from the Indore seat, and just days before he defected to the BJP. Now, news reports are circulating that what he's mentioned, that he was under pressure due to charges, some legal cases pending against him, and which is why, as a result of which, he defected to the BJP. But nonetheless, now Indore does not have a Congress candidate, and there are others who are contesting against Shankar Lalwani of the BJP. As of 9 a.m., the voter turnout has been pretty average, around 11.5%. We'll move on to Pune now, in Maharashtra, a seat that was represented once by Suresh Kalmadi for 3 terms across various Lok Sabhas from 1996 until around 2010, 2014 as well. The incumbent MP Girish Bapat, who won the election in 2019, he died in March of last year, and since then there was no by-election that was held in this seat. So now the BJP candidate is Murlidhar Mohol, who was the mayor of Pune between 2019 and 2022. He's been fielded on a BJP ticket, and the Congress candidate against him is Ravindra Dhangekar, who is the MLA from the constituency of Kasbapet in Pune. Now, Pune has 6 assembly constituencies, and only one of them is won by the Congress, which is represented by Ravindra Dhangekar. So he will be contesting as the Congress candidate from the Pune Lok Sabha seat. In 2019, the turnout in the last Lok Sabha polls was just 50%, and the trend seems to be continuing, because the turnout as of 9 a.m. also has been very poor in Pune, just 6.5% so far. We'll keep an eye out on that as well. And sticking to Maharashtra, from Pune we go a little into the interiors and go to Bid, the seat represented by the Munde family since 2009, and Gopinath Munde, now Pankaja Munde has been fielded as the BJP candidate from this seat. Remember, Pankaja Munde in Devendra Fadnavis's cabinet was a minister in the state cabinet. Now she's been fielded as a Lok Sabha candidate from Bid. Now, this seat was earlier represented by Gopinath Munde for 2 terms before his death in 2014, and then it was represented by his other daughter, Dr. Preetam Munde, who won the by-election from Bid by a record margin of 7 lakh votes after his death. And although that margin of victory narrowed significantly in 2019 to just 1.5 lakh, so it will be interesting to see if Pankaja Munde can carry on the family legacy from Bid. Up against her, though, is the NCP candidate Bajrang Sonavne, who's no greenhorn when it comes to the election battlefield. In 2019, when he was up against Preetam Munde, he polled almost 5.5 lakh votes himself and had a vote share of around 37%. So it's going to be a fight to the finish when it comes to Bid. Here also, in 2019, the turnout was 66%, but so far the turnout has been pretty poor at around 6.5%, very similar to what Pune has seen so far. And we'd hope that the numbers pick up as the day goes by. And lastly, continuing with that family versus family trend, we move to Kadapa in Andhra Pradesh, where the seat has been represented by the Reddy family since 1989. The late Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Y.S. Rajashekar Reddy represented this seat for 3 terms until 1998. Then the seat was represented by his brother, then was represented by Jagan Mohan Reddy, and then by his cousin Y.S. Avinash Reddy, who is now seeking a 2nd term in office as well. Now, he won this seat in 2019 by close to 4 lakh votes, but up against Avinash Reddy is Jagan Mohan Reddy's own sister, Y.S. Sharmila, who is contesting as a Congress candidate from the seat of Kadapa. So it's a battle to claim the legacy of Y.S. Rajashekar Reddy. Now, the 2019 turnout was pretty healthy at 78%, and so far as of 9 a.m. we've seen around 12% turnout. So reports here also have suggesting that Y.S. Avinash Reddy will find it tough to claim a re-election here, because he is also surrounded by multiple legal cases across for various accusations. So that will be a focus point here as well. So turnout so far has been pretty average or below par, if you can say, but we hope for the numbers to pick up as the day goes by. Back to you, Parikshit.
All right. Thank you very much, Hormuz, for that excellent analysis. And once again, I'd like to focus on the state of Andhra Pradesh. The reason being, more than half of the election is already over with the 3 phases. Now, you need a state which can propel numbers for any party, and this could possibly be the state of Andhra Pradesh, which has played a crucial role in government formation in previous Lok Sabha elections. And this is because you've got 25 Lok Sabha seats here. The YSR Congress won 22 seats, the NDA won 3, the India Alliance none. Now, if in this election the NDA is able to turn things around with the help of allies, then they could get a large chunk of seats here, and that could help them increase their overall tally. Remember, they've pitched themselves a very high target of 400 plus, and Andhra Pradesh now, after the first 3 phases, could be the answer to that as well. On that note, we are going to wrap for the moment. The polling percentage is anywhere between 10 to 15% across the country. We'll urge people to go out and vote in big numbers to cast their franchise. We'll keep getting you ground reports through the day from this crucial phase. Lot of interesting contests. Keep tuning in to our YouTube channel, also on Twitter, Facebook and CNBC TV18 itself. We'll be getting you cutting-edge analysis through the day.